My name is Augustine Lynas, and I'm an artist. I'm especially fond of sculpting sand on public beaches where I can sculpt large pieces in collaboration with nature. This is a story about a dream. When the renovation of the 83rd Street playground was proposed, I suggested the creation of a new sandbox. With no experience in building what I had proposed, I knew that I could gather a team that could help me. I proposed a sculpted concrete sand pit, and I provided a scale model to a neighborhood group. Little did I know what a huge and complicated experience I was getting into. The initial process began in 1997. The plan required approval from the New York City Parks Commission, Community Board 7, the Landmarks Commission, and the New York City Arts Commission, all of which eventually approved my design. Work began on September 8, 1998. The estimated cost of the sand pit was $76,600. Thanks to an anonymous donor, the funds to complete the project were provided. The Riverside Park Fund and New York City Parks and Recreation would assume the cost of installing the foundation, the drainage system, and would hire contractors to create the rest of the playground. The sculpture would be built in 3 stages. First, the contractors would install 8-foot-tall forms and pour the foundation for the sand pit with exposed reinforcement rods or rebars. For me, the pouring was like constructing a building with tall forms, sewer pipes, big cement trucks, and professional concrete workers. I felt a bit like a small boy fascinated by grown-up machinery. Once the inside forms were solidified, sculpting could begin in earnest. Taking the model to the site made it seem as if the dream was really going to come true, although there was a lot of hard, dirty work to be done. The River Run Playground is named for the Hudson River, which flows from the sprinkler in the north in the Adirondacks to the south and the New York Harbor. Peter Savigny, a multi-talented artist and sculptor, joins me to discuss techniques preparing for bending rebars that form the skeletons of the sculpture.
So keeping this or losing this as well?
We're going to lose that. And then this is the auxiliary run here, where it goes, jumps up the hill, so it need to be banked, and then it comes back down and finds its way into that thing. So travels down that.
Also with me is Brad Keller, who is my flying disc partner and a highly skilled helper no matter the nature of the project.
That's it. Wait, how does it... You're going to have to take this out too. So you see this?
Yeah, I got it. Just this.
Vanessa Sellers stops by with her kids and their friends to check on the progress.
Are you kids excited about this?
Yeah.
So tell what you feel about it.
I feel it's going to be great, and when the treasures are hiding, maybe we can keep them secret for some people and let them find out themselves.
That sounds like a terrific idea.
Yeah, and then if we ask them, then it wouldn't be so fun.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And other people are going to tell everyone, and so they're going to, so everyone's going to find them.
That's right.
Yeah,
And nobody knows yet. We should do that. There's going to be an alphabet there. And so there will be a surprise. And you know already before the sand pit is filled with sand what there is.
Yeah, and then when they dig in sand, the other people will say, what are you digging?
Yep.
And you can roll a ball down these little things, so it'll be like a rolling mountain that you can roll a ball. And then you go down you run to the place where the ball falls down, and then you can catch the ball.
That's right. On the edge there will be a ball rolling down.
Yeah.
Or you can bring your own ball and have it run down on the edge.
How did you find out about it?
Well, my mom, we have this own thing about the sand pit.
Vanessa was an important member of the neighborhood group that raised funds for the renovation of the playground. Another member of the group was Alice Gottesman. This is Richard Leopold, who had been working at the Bronx Zoo on the concrete elements of the gorilla habitat. He is an expert at shotcrete technology, where concrete is pumped at high pressure through a hose and applied to the sculpture.
We started out the day, we had a little bit of trouble with equipment. Didn't have the correct drill bits, but we finally got those and we started cutting and tying in the bar, which is now going very well.
Brad is tying sheets of steel mesh to the rebars. The mesh gives a rough shape and volume to the sculptures and holds the concrete in place. The hopper mixes the cement, water, and sand and pumps the concrete, which we call mud, to the foundation. This mud forms the structure coat, which is sculpted into rough shapes. Jonathan Hedden, also from the Bronx Zoo team, joins the crew. Concrete expands in hot weather and contracts in cold. So every 20 feet we install foam material that allows for those changes. We all did various jobs, although Richard and Jonathan were primarily the mud shooters. I added coloring and tested the mud to make sure it would match the color of the play sand that would eventually fill the sculpture. Some decorative elements began to emerge in the structure coat. The skin coat should be at least 2 inches thick and required a bonding agent to prevent it from delaminating. Time is a crucial element in sculpting concrete. Setting can be accelerated if the weather gets hot, so working quickly can be nerve-wracking and challenging.
Building a sandbox out of sculptural concrete. 83rd Street Park and 83rd Street Playground in Riverside Park. There's Brad doing some packing on the head of the Neptune figure, may it be. The sculptor Jerry Lynas directing the core. Beautiful sandbox. It's going to have figures and shapes and animals. There's a lizard. Bonding agent.
Chris Crowley, the landscape architect who designed the playground, wants to get his gloves dirty.
I did my share. This is only part of the park. I did that part.
As the rest of the playground progresses, the central figure begins to emerge.
I've got about 10 shovels in the hopper. Did I get you got out of the boat? Yeah. That guy keeps getting fatter. Fish sandwiches.
Samuel Rodriguez, an essential member of our crew, did much of the heavy lifting.
I could use a break.
The numbered steps will be mostly hidden under the sand, but there's plenty for kids to play with around the edges. Members of my family arrive to check the progress. My wife, our son, 2 daughters, and their spouses, my grandson, and our dog all gather in the unfinished pit.
I don't know. Get.
I loved Chris's doubled alphabet, which added a mysterious puzzle element for the kids to ponder. Large wooden letters made impressions of the alphabet in the soft concrete around the periphery.
We're on a roll here with these letters.
R.C. Aradio, studying at the School of Visual Arts, joins the team to lend his considerable talents to the sculpture. Peter refines the frog's face, which is the central feature on the north edge facing the rest of the playground. Some of the crew had day jobs, so working late evenings and nights were pretty common.
Tomorrow with 20 degrees cooler, we may have a little more time. So not too much definition on the fingers, just make a rise like a bone coming out from the middle of the hand. All right?
Keep a good back here, like you had a little nice round.
Like a thought. Gotcha.
Sorry, Bob.
You'll be proud, Mr. Lynas.
Okay.
Missed it. We had a big hurrah when the
Mixer shut down.
mixer shut down. It was like the last mix. It was
And then Sam turned it on
a
again.
booming sound. About half a minute.
Can I try to erase it?
Yeah?
Can I call back?
Just stand over there and look at it.
Whoever said I couldn't make a free.
I never said that. Tired and that's what it starts doing.
Very nice.
They really did turn out.
The shadows doing the work.
Hey Jerry?
Yeah.
If you want inspiration, it's you know, here.
Okay. That'll happen soon.
We were very close.
Something to that effect. I think that was the word. Please have your crew refresh.
My brother, baby, it looks like a fig.
You gotta stick with it. This is better.
We're gonna stick with the spontaneity.
fish is smoking weed.
This fish.
So. Kevin, you should shoot these out all the way down. As long as you can.
Good job. Good job.
About time.
Where were you the first time today, Sammy?
I was around.
What was I? Invisible?
You did Chinese.
Special project.
That's Chinese design. I go to the French. You gotta know.
The island, if you're coming, come.
Sam,
Bob,
you the man.
you the man. We all the men here. We all the men here.
Drive safely.
It was nice to meet you.
You too.
Yeah, take care of yourself. I will see you later.
Farewell.
Nice to meet you.
The sculpture is now finished. It's time to install the drainage system. Landscape architect Charles McKinney, the director of Riverside Park, checks the whole playground.
Hi, Mom. Get your caffeine.
It took a while for the kids to figure out that it was okay to mess up the sand sculpture. River Run Playground has become one of the most popular playgrounds in New York City.
Good, good. So when is the park memorial? We've seen only sand. Where are the balls?
Let me show you those. Couldn't find a parking spot, so you brought it with you. No idea what I had.
Did you ever kill somebody?
You could have parked in some other neighborhood. I was on my way to doing that, and I saw it. We ran all this way, and then we backed down the street, the one-way street, and I had a taxi on the side. I just wanted to know, how long do you think you'll be here?
I give my pledge as an American to save and faithfully defend from waste the natural resources of my country, its air, soil, and minerals, its forests, waters, and wildlife, and its playgrounds, and its children. Bravo, well done.
It was a special pleasure because my kids grew up in this playground. One, my son is here with 2 grandchildren, and what's so wonderful is that we're not the only 3 generations that are here. I've met many people who are here with their children and grandchildren, all of whom are very familiar with this lovely little spot next to the rocks and next to the river. And I hope they stick with it and do some more projects in the district and continue to make this the most wonderful place to live. Thank you.
Yes, Daddy, to
Thank
put
you all
up so
for
you can
coming
see.
and being part of this. We're all very excited and
Pick her up, Daddy.
Yes,
Your
in
shoulders
20
up,
years, the
together.
children in this
Give me my
neighborhood will remember that Mount Marcy is 5,344 feet high, and if they don't, then they haven't played in this playground. Enjoy it, kids!
also we want Jerry Lynas, who is a sculptor for the sandbox, to say something. Jerry?
Hey, you got a camera? My sincere thanks to the neighborhood groups and the parents headed by Vanessa and Alice, to Jim Dahl of the Riverside Park Fund, to Charles McKinney, Director of the Riverside Park, to Commissioner Stern of Parks and Recreation, and to the members of all those agencies who approved my model and my plans, and to the playground designer, Chris Crowley. And I would like to thank my wonderful, hard-working crew. I could never have done this by myself. And they include people who I would love to see their hands so that you could acknowledge them. They include Brad Keller, both my Frisbee partner and my job steward and site specialist, Jonathan Hedden, who couldn't be here today, Rich Leopold, who operated a very dangerous high-pressure concrete hose and pump. Where are you, Rich? Thank you, Rich. Peter Savigny, who is my right-hand man sculptor. Peter, thank you so much. Bob Aradio, who probably is not here today. Kevin Stevens, who also could not be here. And my son, Daniel Lynas, who took a handball and made about 5,000 impressions in that dragon's skin over there. And I would also like to thank the still anonymous donor whose generosity helped to make this sculpture come to life. Whoever you are, you've been an angel, and I thank you. I'd also like to express my deepest gratitude to my family for their patience with my peculiar vocation, including my wife Inez, my daughters Tamara and Sarah, my son Daniel, who all played a very important role in my life, but also who played in this playground. And a special welcome to my grandson Dylan, who just celebrated his first birthday. There he is. Applaud yourself. And last, this is very brief. After a lifetime of playing in the sand and watching my work being taken away by the tides, it is quite strange for me to imagine that this sand container will remain long after I've turned to dust. So I look forward to seeing children learning to coexist in a peaceful environment designed to encourage learning and creativity. And I hope never to be too old to join them in that play. And I have one last request from a neighbor. A neighbor in my building thinks that Commissioner Stern should set aside one day a month where the parents could kick the kids out of the sandbox and play in there themselves. So I'm for that. Thank you very much.
Jerry, that we, the members of the West 83rd Street Block Association, love you for your dedication and your involvement in this park. So thank you very much for redesigning the sandbox and the waterfalls.
I want to start by thanking the City Council for funding the $716,000 reconstruction of the playground. With this money, we completely renovated the facility, which now includes new swings, exciting adventure play equipment for toddlers and young children, safety servicing, newly planted trees, benches, and a fence. The playground also houses two dominant and unique features that set it apart from other facilities. Our architect, Chris Crowley, Snowcat. The Snowcat here, he's designed a spray shower which represents the Hudson River's flow, from the Adirondack Mountains to the Atlantic. The water from the spray shower flows through a scale model river channel that winds its way from north to south through the playground, ending at what is perhaps the most unique feature, the sandbox. The sandbox was created by local sculptor Gerald Lynas. What is your park name? Circus. Gerald Lynas, Circus. And I want to thank the Riverside Park Fund for raising $75,000 in private money from you in order to build this sculpture. It's the largest and most spectacular sandbox of its kind in the city, sculpted with sand-colored concrete and featuring a mystical sea theme with lizards, turtles, and other aquatic creatures. The sandbox has the alphabet embedded around the outside, so everyone will learn to read by looking at it. And it contains hidden treasures beneath the sand for children to discover. The sculptor, Circus, has even created a special sand sculpture just for today's event.
As most of you know, Riverside Park Fund is the non-profit support organization for Riverside Park. We are the Parks Department's partner in Riverside Park from 72nd Street all the way to 153rd. And we've worked very closely with the West 83rd Street Playground Association and the wonderful designers, including Chris Crowley at the Parks Department, to help create this playground.
And on behalf of Community Board 7, the West 83rd Street Association, and most importantly, the children, my most sincere personal gratitude to everyone who made this day possible. Thank you.
Nothing gives us more pleasure than to give you pleasure. Nothing makes Riverside Park as great as your help. If you ever need anything, think of us as your work and your helpmates, and we're so happy to make this the day we've long awaited for. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Great. So everyone come to the bridge. Bridge. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Water! Water!
Now, I no longer have to travel to the beach to work in one of my favorite sculptural media. I just have to walk 2 blocks after a soaking rain to River Run Playground. Maybe I should just keep dreaming.